I work with a hospice agency in California, actually, a group with multiple agencies. And what I saw, it didn't sit right with me as a nurse. This is my real experience and why I walked away. So I was working as a QA. That means I was checking charts, making sure visits were documented properly, and everything met compliance. Pretty standard until I started noticing patterns. One thing that stood out immediately, there was a nurse documented as seeing around 50 patients in one day. As a nurse, you already know that's not just busy, that's almost impossible to do properly. And that made me question, are these visits really happening the way they are documented? Then I also started noticing something else, missing RN visits. And instead of clear explanations, I kept seeing the same phrase, patient refuse visits, over and over again. And when something repeats like this in documentation, you have to ask, is this accurate or something is being covered up? I even saw charts that were still open after a month that a patient have been refusing the services. So I asked a case manager, was this actually a missed visit? And I didn't get a clear answer. That's when I really started feeling uncomfortable. Instead of addressing the concern, I was being pushed to just finish QA. No proper reference, no real clarification, just sign off and move on. As a nurse, that is a problem because our license is on the line. And then I started asking more questions about this nurse's workload, missing visits, and everything. I was suddenly removed from the team. And not only that, I wasn't paid for the work I already completed. And when I tried to follow up, I was even threatened. This is why I'm sharing this. Not to attack anyone, but to talk about something real in healthcare. When documentation doesn't really match reality, it's not just the paperwork. It affects patient care, safety, and trust. If you're a nurse watching this and something feels off in your workplace, trust your clinical judgment. Ask questions. And if the response is silence, pressure, or retaliation, then that tells you a lot. I'm sharing my personal experience only. I'm not naming any agency, and this is not a legal claim. Just what I personally observed and went through. Healthcare should always be about patient first. And sometimes speaking up comes with a cost. But staying silent can cost even more. If you experience something similar, you are not alone.